I'm going to talk a little bit slowly as the internet begins to render this video. I wonder, Padma could probably follow me on Facebook and let me know for sure. But if you're just signing in or if you're going to watch this a little bit later, my name is still Hriman Nayaswami, and I'm here at the beautiful Camino Hermitage on Camino Island in the state of Washington, in Western Washington, and we're looking out over the islands and Port Susan, a bay here, and we are recommencing our daily broadcasts of Whispers from Eternity, Monday through Friday at 12 noon for about 5 to 10 minutes approximately each day. And then it's saved on our website and it's saved on our Facebook page and on to Seattle and Bothell for people to view later. Our hope is to use this book of prayer demands by Paramahansa Yogananda. He described these, interestingly enough, as answered prayers. And there's a lot of meaning in that. It's like the chants that he gave us. You know, he gave us a complete new line, a new form of chanting. He didn't just bring Sanskrit mantra chanting to the West. He said, I didn't come to make you all Hindus. The essence of religion, the essence of spirituality is individual and personal and at the same time universal. The techniques of yoga meditation are for everybody, regardless of belief, no belief. And so he gave us a new form of chanting using our language, English. And same thing he did with prayer. These prayer demands, answered prayers, like his chants, and each one of them came from that space of consciousness, of divine consciousness that was channeled through him when he created these prayers, which he calls therefore answered prayers, and when he created his chants. So Padma and I ended this series, or that is to say, we took a vacation break at the end of July, and July 31st was our last broadcast, and today, September 1st, we reconvene. And we are on prayer demand number 118. Interestingly enough, it's a prayer before meditation. So I'm going to read it now. O Father, my little prayers are all roused in reverence, waiting for thee. My little joys dance in tune with the temple bells of inner harmony. The muffled drum of my craving beats deeply for thee. My passion and my ignorance wait tremblingly to be sacrificed on your altar. I shall say my prayers with mystic beads made of my crystal teardrops and polished with my love for thee. I shall cleanse the altar of my heart with my repentance. Come, I long for thy presence. This is a beautiful prayer worth having on your personal altar at home and reading before your meditation. It contains the elements of both giving up and taking up. The giving up is when we recognize the fact that we've not lived in communion with our divine nature, and that we have done many things, have certain attitudes that are perhaps selfish or self-involved, ignorant in all cases actually. And so it's important that when we approach the altar of the superconscious mind, our state of the soul, which is already one with the Father, when we approach the altar of superconsciousness, it's important that we not simply pretend we don't have things to give up. We don't have things to let go of, our past and our habits and so forth. And so having done that nonetheless, we wait with our crystal teardrops, meaning crystal, meaning they're pure. The devotion, our intention, our sincerity to contact God, to contact the superconscious soul is a pure intention. We don't seek anything. but its own reality. And our love is polished, again, purified, in other words. I'm reminded in the story, the never ending story. It was a story our children used to enjoy many years ago. And I think they made a movie of it. As I recall, it was a child who was going to save the people from something bad. And the child represents the purity of one's heart. And thus it is that a war, in other tales, the warrior has to go out to win the love, his beloved, let's say, has to go out and pass 3 tests, right? Isn't that, or answer 3 riddles, whatever it might be, in order to demonstrate the sincerity and the purity of the intention. And so we need those 2 things. He calls it repentance, which is actually surprising. Yogananda was not, he said, never call yourself a sinner. Nonetheless, he uses that word, and therefore it has a place in our lives. We have to be self-honest with ourselves, and then let it go, and then give it up. As Sri Yukteswar, his guru, put it, the lives of all are dark with shame. Forget the past. What you do now will change your life, change the direction of your life. I was just talking to a good friend of mine, and we were commiserating with one another with all the bad news out there, all the troubles this planet and our country especially seems to face right now: restlessness, unrest, violence, divisiveness, polarization, etc., ignorance in all directions, from all sides. And it's pretty easy to be either pessimistic or at best worried, nervous, anxious about what's to happen, particularly in these next 70 or 80 days when we face a presidential election. And so we talked about how do we do that? Do we just turn off the news and pretend it doesn't exist? Well, you could do that. But I prefer to be selective, try to pick up things that are hopeful, inspiring. I watched, for example, I'll go out on a limb, in the recent Democratic National Convention, I watched the talk by the former President Obama. Just a great soul, very pure of heart and sharp of mind. And I always enjoy listening to him, and then the other 2 as well. But so I selectively look at things that seem to offer hope, and I'll see the other tweet headlines, and I'll just bypass them. But really, the important thing, what my friend and I talked about, is practicing the presence. My campaign this last year has been to tell folks who meditate that if you don't practice the presence during your daily activity, then you'll really need a prayer for meditation. Because if your mind is roaming in the slums of worry and anxiety throughout the day, nervousness, restlessness, fear of virus, and all this sort of thing, what's going to happen when you sit to meditate? Well, not very much, I can assure you. Therefore, practicing the presence, silently chanting the name of God, silently chanting a meaningful but simple prayer in your heart as you go about the day's activities. This is how meditation becomes a way of life, a state of consciousness. And so this prayer before meditation, it's a lovely one. I don't recall really reading it in all my years of working with this book. There are other prayer demands for meditation elsewhere in the book, but this one was different. Come, I long for thy presence. Padma, we'll see you tomorrow, and have a wonderful day.